Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube tarot channel. My name is Tamika. I know it's a little bit dark in here. I'm actually filming at night. So hopefully you can see everything okay. This is going to be a quick energetic check-in for the general collective for the month of August. I was going to do a reading for last week's new moon in Leo, but if you watched last week's videos, then you saw that I was a little bit under the weather. So I just wanted to wait until my voice was back a little bit as well. My dog, who's also in the videos, has not been feeling good either. So if you can continue to send us both your healing blessings, that would be greatly appreciated. So what I'm gonna do in today's reading, I already have all the cards laid out. For those of you that have been following either this channel or my journal since the beginning of the year, then you know that I pulled cards for the collective for each month of the year. So the first three cards I'm going to go over are going to be those cards that were pulled on Jan 1 for the collective for the year for this month, August 2019. And then I also pulled 8 cards from a different deck, just looking at sort of what energies we're currently working with, what we can sort of be looking towards or expecting, what might be changing for us, that kind of thing. So again, just going over the cards that were pulled on Jan 1 for the collective, we have from the Archangel Oracle deck Sensitivity, Archangel Haniel, and I'll read the little phrase there at the bottom. It says, "You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings." So I've definitely been feeling this, with clients as well as with friends, and just in the every other day card readings that I've been posting, that kind of stuff. It's a highly, active time right now in the cosmos, but it's definitely the energy that we're sort of operating with right now, that we're working with right now, is really asking each of us to really go within. I've been seeing the Hermit card a lot. I think I posted about it the other day, not on Instagram, but on Twitter. Both of which the social medias are the same, the handles are the same, and they're down below. But basically, very introspective time, a time to really be doing a lot of meditation if you don't already, a lot of journaling if you don't already. I know that for a lot of people, let me not say a lot of people, I'll speak from my own experience, but a lot of childhood memories have been coming up for me lately, and I've sort of just been thinking about them. And it's interesting, I was explaining to a friend recently that things that I maybe formerly would have gotten very worked up over, or that would have really upset me, in my childhood, if not even a few years ago, to be honest, they don't anymore. And I'm sort of looking back on some of these memories with a little bit of humor, and I'm able to laugh at, these things that happened or these things that I thought. And I really feel like that may be happening for a lot of people. And so if that's happening for you and you're kind of like, why? And as I'm saying that, it's 3:33 on the clock, 3 minutes, 33 seconds. Why are these memories coming up? Or why am I having these old feelings or whatever, thoughts that I thought I had already dealt with? Or, these random things popping up for me now, coming up top of mind. Your spirit, your soul is speaking to you about something, whatever it is that it may be. For other people, perhaps you're getting messages through your dreams, that kind of thing. Anyway, I say all this to say that, the energies in the cosmos right now are extremely potent. Those of you who, follow astrology quite closely, then you sort of already know that for the past couple of months, if not couple of years, we've been dealing with intense energies, eclipses, and right now, which is something that happens every year, we're leading up to the Lion's Gate, which is on August 8th, 8/8, the Lion's Gate, which is just a hugely, this year it will afford so many people the opportunity to be a hugely transformative time. And this is going to be quite poignant, I think, once I get into the other cards in the reading. But yeah, I think it's super important, you know, to really, as the card says, honor yourself and your feelings. So whatever feelings may be coming up for you right now, don't disregard them. Don't put them aside. Don't be like, oh, why am I thinking about that? That's crazy. I've dealt with this. It's in the past. Like, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, sure. But, you know, there's something that your soul, your spirit is trying to bring to your attention and bring to the fore. You know, even if that's just to sort of ruminate on it or to look at it from a different perspective, or something I really like doing is to, you know, write it all down so that I can sort of go back to it later. Maybe there's a message in it that I'll come back to later, that kind of thing. So kind of fittingly, the next card that we have for the numerology guidance is number 11, individuality. And I'm going to go ahead and read from the book for this one. So it says, once I get there, it says, this card indicates a need to embrace your individuality and be your true, authentic self. Rather than follow the crowd, you're being guided to break away from the pack and take the road less traveled. Instead of feeling like you're a square peg in a round hole, you're being encouraged to build your own square hole. By drawing this card, you're being called upon to step up to the plate and celebrate your uniqueness. At this time, you must have the courage to speak your truth and march to the beat of your own drum, despite the opinions of those around you. What others think of you isn't your business anyway, and it's impossible to please everybody. So you must focus on pleasing yourself. As you honor your individuality and feelings, you will reclaim your personal power and enhance your connection to Source. When you do so, you can make your dreams come true. I love that. So the affirmation here in the book says, I embrace my individuality and become my true authentic self. Okay, let me say that again since I messed it up. I embrace my individuality and become my true authentic self. Lovely. Okay, so, and then as y'all know who have been following along either on this channel or in the journal, I also pulled a tarot card for each month of the year for the collective, and for this month we have the Tower card. So this is not a bad thing. I think a lot of people have been going through Tower moments, whether it is something that happens to you or something that you are causing, say, in a work, family, friend, or romantic situation or relationship. I feel like that Tower is speaking specifically to that individuality card, right? So if other people have thoughts or opinions on who or what it is that we should be, and that does not align with who or what it is that we know that we are, that may be a Tower moment for them, you know, where, you know, perhaps sometime this month, if not, you haven't done it already, or maybe, you know, it might be a little bit later, depending on where you fall on the energetic curve, so to speak. You know, you could be like, hey, you know what, actually, that's not really what I want to do, or this isn't really what I want to do, or this isn't working for me, and so I'm gonna go, you know, I'm gonna take this path instead. I was gonna say the road less traveled. It may or may not be, you know, the situation will be different for everyone, but I know that just with my clients and speaking to my friends and my family, you know, there's a lot of change happening right now for people. You know, for some people it's very exciting change. For other people it may be, you know, causing some worry or anxiety, but the guidance here is definitely like, don't, anything that's being removed or taken away from you, or, you know, what a lot of astrologers or other spiritualists like to say, you know, in the community, anything that was eclipsed, right, from your life, from any of the eclipses that we've had recently, there is a greater sort of divine purpose and order behind all of it. You know, it's just a matter of, do you see it yet or not? So again, those were the 3 cards that were pulled on Jan 1 for the collective for the month of July. And now I'm gonna just quickly go into the 8 cards that I pulled for this month. So just quickly, the last tarot card that I just went over, the Tower card, is from the Morgan Greer Tarot. These cards that I pulled are from the Cosmic Tarot. So this is actually the first time that I'm doing sort of in an official format, an 8 card spread. It's not really a spread. I just laid 4 cards and then 4 cards down on the bottom. So I think I'll talk about them individually and then maybe as pairs, but I'm also trying to be cognizant of time here. So we have coming out first the Sun card in reverse. This card in the upright can typically represent actually the sign of Leo, which is the season that we're in. It is also considered the happiest card in the deck. So when I see this card coming up in the reverse, and to me, you know, I typically read most spreads left to right. So this is coming up sort of in like the past or the foundational position. You know, this is telling me that, you know, it could be that perhaps that tower moment for some of you out there is actually related to something that brought you quite a bit of happiness. What I'm getting off of this card is that it could be the ending of a work situation, a relationship, or I'm also picking up that for some people, it's possible that you lost someone who was close to you. And for an even smaller subset of people, I'm sensing that that may have been a child. In either case, that's incredibly difficult, and I'm really sorry for anyone who may be experiencing any kind of loss right now, but in particular a death of anyone whom they were close to. If this is a work or relationship situation, again, that can be super difficult, but I do feel like there is sort of a greater purpose or some sort of reason, if you will, as to why all this, as to why that may have happened, and that you will be, there will be something new for you sort of on the other side of the tunnel, if you will. Coming up next, we have the Four of Pentacles here in the reverse. So as it pertains specifically maybe to a relationship or a job situation, again, I'm sort of getting the sense that, you know, the tower has sort of brought down something that was perceived as being foundational. So whether that was a relationship and say a marriage, or whether that was a work, you know, situation like a job or a career or contract that you had that you thought was going to be secure and certain for whatever amount of time, and now, you know, that's no longer the case. I am getting here, you know, that some people may have left their job or decided to leave their job. As well, I am getting that some people may have decided to leave a relationship or were left. You know, the other party in a relationship decided to leave for whatever reason. Coming up next, we have the Emperor card. So this card is telling me that, in fact, whatever it is, wherever it is, and whatever it is that may have happened is actually putting you in a stronger position, because it's going to allow you to be in the Emperor status, right? So using the work example, for example, let's say you were in a job and you were quite frankly underemployed, right? Like, the job was sustaining you as best that it could. You could do the job, but, you know, perhaps that wasn't exactly your passion or your purpose, actually, is really what this is about. It wasn't really your purpose. Sure, you could have gone on in perpetuity doing this job, but would you have been fulfilled? Will it ultimately bring you the foundational success that it really is that you want, and that you want to leave, you know, for future generations? Should that be a goal of yours? And this is saying, to me anyway, that whatever that past situation was, that Four of Pentacles that has now gone away, that really wasn't serving its purpose in that regard, and that whatever it is that you're going to step into that's new, that really will, if that's not, you know, the sort of the end all be all thing, that's going to start to get you on your path towards the Emperor energy. And remember that the cards here are non-gendered, so Emperor, you know, could be male or female as well. I do feel like with the Emperor as opposed to the Empress coming out, this is just really talking about, you know, being very, I mean, not that the Empress isn't strong, but this is sort of a more aggressive kind of energy in terms of building something, sustaining something, and embodying, you know, being at the top of your game, so to speak. Okay. So we have coming out here the Ten of Wands as the final card. This to me is telling me that, you know, I don't mean to sound like, you know, whatever it is new that you may be going into is not going to be hard work, but whatever it is that you were coming out of, it actually was quite burdensome. You see how this figure here is kind of overwhelmed by all those wands here. And so maybe, you know, maybe you were doing too many things, or maybe what you were doing was like actually serving as a distraction from what it is that you're actually passionate about and where you should be focusing more of your time and attention and energies towards what it is that you're actually supposed to be doing. And so this card coming out here in the reverse is a really good sign, because this is saying you're putting those burdens down. You know, this is not saying you will be inactive, but it's just saying you won't be sort of spreading yourself too thin or engaging in too many different things that are just really serving to distract you from, you know, maybe the one or two things that it really is that you're supposed to be doing and putting your time towards. Okay, so just getting into the second row super quickly. I think I'm going to talk more about these cards sort of in the context of the first four cards that I just went over. So coupled here with the Sun card in reverse, we have the King of Swords. So this could be an air sign person, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. If you're not an air sign yourself, it could be someone that you're dealing with or someone that is around you. Sorry, I'm just flipping that back up because it was in the reverse. But I ultimately do feel like by the end of the reading, everyone, you know, during Leo season will actually be feeling more of this sunshine, happy energy. You know, again, I just think there may be something that you may lose, or something that you decide to leave, or something that you decide to let go of or cut out, right? That may be sort of the Tower moment. And just saying that this King of Swords energy, that's sort of what that embodies, right? King of Swords, and we actually have Queen of Swords later on, but I'll get to that. Very discerning energy. Sometimes these figures can be considered kind of cutthroat, right? That's why you have that swords energy there. Air signs, that air energy, it's very mental, it's very logic. And so what I'm getting from seeing these two cards together, right, is that whatever it was, right, that may have left from your life, or that you've let go, that you sort of looked at as, you know, a piece or a part of your happiness, or something that really brought you peace or happiness or sunshine, right? I think what the guidance here is really saying is that you need to sort of take a sort of King of Swords energy about it and look at it a little bit more logically. Sure, is it something that you loved and could have gone on doing? Yes, you know, oftentimes we love our soulmates, we love people that we're in relationships with, but maybe that's not the person that we're meant to grow old with. And so we have to make a decision about, do we continue to, you know, do this dance and go around in circles, or do we each decide to sort of move forward into our own thing and really bring in whatever truly is our happiness? And that's what I'm getting here, is that, you know, either someone embodied this kind of energy and just sort of made a head over heart decision, a logical decision about what was best for them. And so whatever end of it is that you're on, either you made this decision like this, or if this is something that's happening to you, I do feel like the guidance is saying you need to sort of also embody a little bit more of that head over heart logic to sort of see why it is that this may have happened, and also how you can move forward. Okay, so coupled here with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, we also have the Chariot in reverse. And so what this is kind of telling me, especially as it may pertain to a job situation, but also as it may pertain to a relationship, and that could be just a dating relationship, it could also be a marriage, there maybe necessarily wasn't a lot of forward movement here in that situation or relationship, whatever it may be. You have the Chariot card here coming up in reverse. I am getting, we are in August now, so the Chariot can represent the sign of Cancer. It's possible for some people that these changes have been something that's been building up and coming, you know, this Tower moment that we have here has been building up for the past couple of months, if not longer. But again, it is, and again, I feel like that's why that King of Swords guidance is there, because I feel like if you look really logically at the situation, you'll see that whatever it was, there really wasn't any growth there. And so that's why, you know, you or someone else, or again, you know, it could be a myriad of things, or people, you know, decided that, hey, you know what, this is really not working out the way that I thought it would. You know, though, you know, this may have brought me a lot of happiness and love, it is no longer doing so. And so I have to decide to go my own way. Okay. So then again, we have the Emperor card coming up, and what we have coming up with that card is the World card. So again, this is telling me very, very strongly that there is a new cycle that needs to come in here. You know, that Four of Pentacles in reverse and that Chariot card, that represents an old cycle. There was no more forward movement or growth in that situation, but there is something new here waiting for you. So in terms of a relationship, right, let's say that you just had a relationship that just ended. It may be that you meet your person as soon as that relationship ends. Maybe not as soon as, but that the window of opportunity then opens up for someone new to come in because you or someone else decided that the relationship that you were in prior was not going anywhere, and so you decided to end it, and then lo and behold, someone new comes in here as well. This could be talking about, again, in business, or in work, just starting over, starting anew, becoming a boss. Maybe some of you, had a promotion, and so you could be looking at it like, oh, hey, I really liked my old team and my old role, but are you gonna let that stop you and hold you back from taking something new? If someone came to you and said, hey, we have this higher up position, would you like it? No, you're not gonna be like, no, I don't want it because I want to hang back with the people that I already made friends with. No, you're gonna go for that higher position, even though you're like, hey, you know what, I was really super happy in this last role, but it's time for me to start something new. Or again, this could be like leaving a job and deciding to become basically your own boss, right? Your own emperor, in charge of your own thing, starting your own new thing. I really feel like whatever it is new, whether it's relationship or work or whatever, new way of being, new thoughts or ideas, it's meant to happen here with that world card here, right? So like I said, it's like the universe is sort of aligning and setting things up. So again, anything that's being eclipsed, right, though it may be sort of shocking, or you're like, what's going on with this, what's going to happen, only good things are really going to happen from here, right? So you really have to believe and have faith, and you have to trust in the universe that it kind of knows what it's doing, right? And you just have to listen and go along. Okay, so then finally, again, we have the 10 of Wands here coming up in the reverse, putting your burdens down. What we have here coming out finally, and this is why I mentioned we have a pair here, is we have the Queen of Swords. I am picking up off of this situation, right? So let's just say the situation involves two people, and that someone decided to either change something or end something, that kind of thing, right? And then there seems to be someone else sort of on the receiving end of that. And what I'm sort of picking up, so again, this is why I sort of started off the reading just saying, I feel like if you're on the receiving end, the guidance is really to look at it from a more logical perspective, look at it more from a mind, I like the saying mind over matter, but I don't really know if that applies here, but it is definitely like head over heart, right? I do feel like with this Queen of Swords coming up in the reverse, I am getting just a little bit of like anger or annoyance, or sort of extreme aggression off of that card. Whereas like this was like, I'm gonna be aggressive in my decision because it's right for me. This is like, I'm gonna be aggressive because I don't like what you did. And I'm not really so sure that this is really the best way to approach things. I think it is definitely going to depend on whatever the situation is, person to person. Obviously, depending on what may be informing this, you may have to embody a little bit more of the Queen of Swords in reverse energy, which again is very aggressive. A lot of people call this the bitch card, which, whatever, take that for what it is, but I am just picking up that, just don't take it too far. I think here with the two cards, I'm also seeing, I sometimes like to use the phrase or like in terms of like a don't do this, but throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? So maybe it could be, you're like, okay, fine. I'm trying to think of a good example, but like, if you get let go from a job or let go from your relationship, and then you just see red, and then you take out how you feel about that past relationship on any future person that you may meet, or you come to every other job interview going forward with a bad attitude because you had a bad experience at your last role, or you're constantly sort of engaging in self-doubt or worrying or fear or anxiety if you're starting your own business. Those kinds of low vibrational energies are not really going to allow you to manifest. So I actually feel like the guidance here is a little bit more of a warning. I'm also sensing that, for some people it may be, and actually as I went to go put that card back down, it went back up in the upright, but again, it was in the reverse. But I'm sending out the Sun card energy in the upright and the Queen of Swords energy in the upright to all of you, my viewers, because that is really the energy that I feel like we are in with Leo season. That we're really meant to, the universe and source, God, whatever it is that you believe, they want us to be happy, right? We're not put on this earth to suffer. We're here to be happy, to have a human experience, and to live our passion and our purpose, and to love. That's really about all that there is. But sorry, just saying that, you know, I do get the sense that for some people, if this were a relationship or a work situation, that perhaps there was, and I know that, you know, people make jokes about tarot readers using this phrase, but third party energy. I don't mean to say that there was someone else necessarily involved in the relationship. That may be the case, in which case, let's say you ended that relationship because someone stepped out on the relationship, right? We do have the Three of Cups actually coming up here in the reverse too. It could be that you decided to end that because that's not something that you're willing to tolerate or that you're willing to be involved in which case, you know, this Queen of Swords energy coming up in the reverse is well warranted. But I think I'll end it there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will be back later this week with the monthly readings for all of the elements. So that's going to be, I think the water signs will go first again because they tend to have the most views, and then from there some order of earth, air, and fire. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to this channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I would really love to start seeing and getting some more comments on the channel. Any questions you may have, anything that you'd like to see me post here. I would like to start doing more videos, you know, where I just sort of wax poetic, as I say, because I often do get a lot of sort of channeling and downloads outside of reading cards, and some messages that I would like to talk to you guys all about, like the new moon reading, which unfortunately I didn't get to, but also talking about things like the Lionsgate portal and just sort of the more universal energies that we're all sort of dealing with and working with. Because I feel like if you know what it is that we're working with, what kind of energetic season that we're currently in, it's just a lot easier to sort of make your plans and respond to things accordingly, right? To be less reactive and more proactive. And that's really why I started this channel, to help people, to give them guidance, to really help them on their path, in the same way that learning tarot, and I in fact watch and go to other tarot readers myself, has really helped me in my life as well. I am available for personal readings. All that information is down below. The link to the journal, which I mentioned as well a couple times throughout this video, is below as well. I would love for you guys to follow along. The journal will soon be parlayed into a blog, which will be published on my website once that goes up, hopefully in the next 1 to 2 months. And aside from that, you can continue to follow me here on my social media channels. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I really hope these messages resonated. Please let me know down in the comments if so, and I will see you soon. Bye.